This shit ain't nothing to me, you stupid piece of shit.
Yes.
Whatever happened to the Black Eyed Peas?
I learned that Will.I.am is cringe. I learned that everyone decided that Will.I.am is actually super cringe and we hate him.
Oh, yeah?
I thought he was cool.
What happened?
I guess he came out with a solo album that everybody said was like the worst thing ever.
Never even remember it.
He came out with a solo album in like 2012.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Gotta get that.
What it was called.
That was like at almost their height, wasn't it?
Well, that was Black Eyed Peas.
Because they were
Will.I.am.
big, yeah.
And he was in X-Men Origins.
Oh,
was?
fuck yeah, he was. Who was he in that?
The black one. I don't know. I don't remember. What do you think Will Smith's up to these days?
Fuck.
I know he had that show where he was like doing all his bucket list stuff. Did you see any of that?
Yeah.
Where he had Dave Chappelle teach him how to do stand up.
Do you think his bucket list
stand up, and then Dave Chappelle starts heckling him from backstage, saying, "Stick to the script, Will," because he's riffing.
Do you think?
That's so
do you think all of his bucket list lists are just fight this guy to fuck my wife, fight this guy to fuck my wife, fight my son who kissed my wife on the lips?
Yeah. When did he do the stand-up thing? Was it post-slap?
No, it's pre.
This
Pre-slap.
feels like such a betrayal of
Pre-slap.
Chappelle of Chris Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
You know-
crazy that he did stand up and he was like, so that's why I feel totally justified attacking you on
Yeah.
stage.
I understand what this is like. I'm gonna.
He walked
hurt
as
you.
he walked on
Got
stage.
riffing enough.
He walked on stage and he was so nervous about the light. That's why you keep seeing him still look back. I will
make
say,
this quick.
I have watched that clip many a times,
Mhm.
and I am happy. I hate that Will Smith did it, but Chris Rock has such a slappable face right before he gets slapped.
Oh, he's being extremely smart.
His like jaw is forward. And he's going, hey, doing that stupid.
What, are you gonna hit me in the
Chris
face?
Rock
You're
smile.
walking up. You're gonna hit me in the face.
Very funny.
I'm just thinking of what if it was Inspector Gadget. Don't make jokes about Penny. Wow. Go, Gadget, big hands. Go, Gadget, rocket elbow.
Dude, Will Smith is walking up to him, going, gum gun, pistol. Yeah.
If it happened in the 40s, they would have been like, rock clobbered.
He clobber knocked him.
Rock clobbered, tumbled, avalanche.
Yeah, it's annoying that Will Smith didn't shout out a special name for his move before he did it. I think that would have.
Yeah, he got to get that anime shit going.
Yeah.
I am with you on that.
Jada Jackhammer. Cuckold concussion.
Hitch
Hitch hit.
Hitch hit.
Hitch hit. Little slap.
Yeah,
Hitch hit.
you gotta be nice to girls.
Shit. Why would you say that? I like that he walks up to him, puts both his hands on his shoulders, and go, "That really hurt my feelings."
Why would you say that?
Why would you say that?
It makes me feel so
Look how many
bad,
people are around
man.
here.
Closeted gay clobbering.
Yeah, that was the rage. Also, the fact that he slapped him was very gay. Not
He
a
is
punch. Yeah, he is, right?
Oh, he for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
He
the
for
kind of
sure.
slap that you do when you're mad that you
I mean-
opened up your relationship and your wife's having a bunch of sex and you can't really do anything about it because you asked for the open thing.
Oh, did he
You
ask?
Yeah, you asked for the open thing so you
I
could
think so.
finally kiss that masseuse who keeps giving you eyes.
Yeah.
Finally, I can go to Miami and do what I always wanted to.
100%.
Welcome
Oh,
to
Geraldo.
Miami.
She's like, I fucked my son's friend. He's like, so did I. You took him from me.
He hooked up with Margot Robbie though, right? Smith. That's a rumor I heard.
That sounds like a rumor a gay man started.
Yeah.
That sounds like something a gay guy would say. Like,
Also,
"Oh,
Margot
how gay
Ro-
am I? Well, I fucked the hottest
Yeah.
chick ever.
Yeah.
so."
Margot Robbie does feel 100% like the number one woman that a gay guy would say he's attracted to. It's the same as like right now, if one of our friends was trying to hide his sexuality, and he's like, God, I certainly would love to suck on the tits of Margot Robbie. God, I would
Yeah.
certainly like
Have
to.
you seen that Sydney Sweeney? What
Oh,
a
I would love
dame.
to suck the nose on Sydney Sweeney. Is that what you do?
Would a gay guy have an affair with Edie Falco? I don't think so.
I don't think so. Oh, God, I jerk off to Pamela Anderson all the time. Oh, yeah, her old photos? No, her in The Last Showgirl.
Incredible. What a queen. What a dame.
I like that our gay guy is also like a 20s guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, a 20s game.
Would a gay guy have sex with a sexual icon Helen Mirren? I don't know. Would they?
Would a gay guy
Unclear to
always
me.
gooned a Barbara Streisand?
Also, I don't know. I don't know.
She gets me so hard and I goon so much to her. like you do, right? We're just two guys in this bathhouse hanging out.
We love to goon.
We love to go.
We're just two straight guys hanging out. Unless you're not, then I'm also not.
Unless you're
Guy in a bathhouse still in the closet.
Oh, whoa! You're gonna just suck that guy off? That'd be crazy if you did. Because mine's hard too. No, it's okay.
Guy in a bathhouse in Dagestan. So what are we all doing here, guys? You guys don't know where Dagestan is.
Have you guys seen
God
the?
damn
Have
it.
you guys seen the movie?
What is it?
It's a
No, I know
place.
Dagestan. It's where
Yeah,
fucking all
it's-
the UFC fighters are from.
Yeah, it's a place in like the Caucasus Mountains where they're so Muslim and so like
Strong?
extremely
They wrestle
strong.
bears.
They wrestle bears, but they're also
And
kind
not
of,
the gay ones.
they're kind of Russian, so they
Yeah.
definitely have bathhouses where
Yeah.
they like whip themselves with leaves and stuff.
Right, right.
And then just one guy like, I'm either in the right place or the wrong place.
Have you guys watched the director's cut of Eastern Promises? Holy shit, that sauna scene goes different. There's 4 stabbing, and then there's 2 gay guys that emerge from the fog.
They're
Going,
like,
oh
whoa,
my
whoa, whoa,
god,
whoa, whoa.
what is happening?
Beats up-
Boys, calm down.
Beats up all those guys in the bathhouse, and then he stands up naked, covered in blood. His other guy goes, "Drop the soap!" Oops.
God, I certainly would hate to be choked. You know the way you did it to them.
I'm part of the Russian mafia too.
Guy comes in. Oh, these guys look pretty beat up. Better check their pulse. Does a bend and snap? Oh, he doesn't look good. Just a stretched asshole in front of him.
Well, my blood
I
is
don't
flowing
like-
really well.
Wow.
Wow.
Do you Eastern promise me?
Can you keep a promise? You know what happens in Russia only stays in Russia.
Eastern secrets.
What happens in Russia shouldn't be talked about in Russia because we'd probably be killed for it.
I'm so upset you guys didn't go with me on the Dagestan riff. I got so many great gay Dagestan bits.
I don't.
I just don't. Dagestan, all I know about
I'm learning
is
about
UFC.
it right now.
Just like, wow. You know, I would never want to do that. Your wife is very good looking.
Is
I
that
mean,
Omar
unless you think-
Khalid? Is that the guy?
Brother-
Guy who fought McGregor?
Khabib.
brother,
Yeah,
why you
Khabib.
do this? No, there's
Khabib.
Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Mm-hmm.
Khabib.
Khabib.
And then now it's Islam Makhachev is his like kind of protege who's kind of slamming everything. They're all it's crazy. There's so many Dagestanis. Way too many.
Yeah.
There's too many. There's too many in the UFC. It's too much.
You think it's like fucking up the game?
A little bit.
Yeah.
They're all wrestlers. But at the same time, you get to do a gay Russian Dagestan impression of like, brother, why you do this? Brother, you suck so good.
Have you ever seen their condoms? It's crazy. It's just like a really furry hat that they put on top. Just a furry little hat that they put on top.
There's no way they use condoms.
No.
That's a raw 10 if I ever heard one.
When they get on their knees, you best believe they're.
Huh?
I feel like that'll get us killed. I
Yeah,
actually feel like
that might be.
that one.
we
That
get Salman Rushdie.
I also
Oh.
think, make calling the Dagestanis gay. There's just so many dudes running on all fours towards our location right now. We come for you. They're really good at fighting,
they are.
but they're even better at sucking dick.
They're slamming and pounding.
People say, not people. My family says that our race is good at fighting, but I don't know if we stayed with it.
I have
I
terrible
don't think
news.
I'm good at fighting.
I have terrible news.
What is it?
India, the UFC has been trying to crack into the Indian market for so long because
Yeah.
it's like 1 billion people.
Yeah.
It's a big market.
Yeah.
And they keep being like, this guy has gone like, 10-0 in India. He's
Yeah.
undefeated. His first debut, they always get KO'd in like
Oh.
30 seconds.
Damn.
Because I wondered that too, where I was like, why are there not more Indian UFC fighters?
Yeah.
There's one that was a champion in, he was a champion of, like a heavyweight champion
Yeah.
in one fighting league, which is pretty big. I think it was one, might have been another
Mhm.
one. And he was from here, which explains so much. Like, I looked him up and I was like, because I Googled one time, like, are there any Indian UFC fighters? And it was like, there's one who's a champ. But I was like, hell yeah. And I clicked and it was like birthplace Abbotsford. And I was
Right.
like, okay, so he's a big Canadian guy. It changes immediately. Like,
It's a farm boy.
yeah,
throwing it
just
down.
a huge farm boy destroying people. I was like, yeah, I know what those guys look like. Of
It is
course.
something crazy. I don't know. Like
So
growing
much
up,
milk. I don't know.
it is the milk. I think it's like the growth hormones and stuff. Because the Indian
Yeah.
guys in India do not get that big.
No.
But they were like full-grown, adult-sized men in my 9th grade class.
Oh, dude.
We'd have a wrestling unit. They would just pick you up and throw you against the wall.
Jesus.
And then they just have those like huge farm hands because
Oh
they've just
my
been
God.
throwing hay bales.
They're
and you're
so
just like,
strong.
They're really big. Yeah. That's seriously it. If there are going to be good Indian fighters,
They're
they're
gonna
going
be
to
from
be
Abbotsford.
they're going to be from Abbotsford, 100%. They're going to be from Abbotsford. Then they go into Surrey, and it's just like bringing a wolf to a dog kennel.
Yeah.
Just like it's not. You guys aren't even.
not fair.
You're not even in the same league. Just dudes from India that are just so small and their hair is so tall.
Yeah.
And then just a huge bald, angry man. And then they both go to the Sikh temple and they both eat pakora.
Yeah.
And then their hands touch. And then one hand is so much bigger than the other hand. And it goes, are you going to eat that? Are you going to eat that?
Go have it. I need it for my larger body. I need to fuel this.
There's just
I want to become the best fighter in the world.
just a dude from Abbotsford listening to this, like, are they doing an accent? I literally can't tell. Yeah, Indian.
And to my Indian
farm
friends,
dudes.
not really. No, we're not really doing one.
Indian farm dudes, y'all are huge, and we love it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
And
we're swinging.
That was the first riff he sat out of.
Yeah, sorry, no, that we had so much of that katsu that now I've eaten so much white rice and everything. I
Yeah, I
feel
can feel
myself.
it shutting my body down. But another good 45 minutes. Oh yeah, in high school we were having a wrestling unit. This wasn't one of the big Indian guys, but it was just like this ripped kid that I knew.
Yeah.
I remember I was talking to a girl that I kind of had a crush on, like outside of gym class or whatever. I was talking to her, and we were getting along well enough. And then he just walked up, pulled up his shirt, perfect 8-pack, and then she was like, "Sorry, I gotta go."
That's so
What the
And they walked off together.
What?
Was she also Indian?
Yeah.
Oh,
what
man.
the hell, dude?
That's devastating.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Well, like when I remembered, I'm like, "Am I forgetting?" No, that's literally
That
what
is a
happened.
balky
That-
way of
He was
stealing
just like,
a woman.
"Check it out." And
That
she's
literally,
like, I gotta go.
that entire situation is like an Indian TikTok.
Yes. Yeah. You
But
know
in the Indian TikTok, there'd be something about me being a really good guy.
You become a tiger.
I
or
become,
something.
yes, I become a big tiger.
You start running,
Yeah.
you become a tiger,
Yeah.
and then a CGI
and then she's
tiger.
like, "Wow, he's
Yeah.
a tiger."
Yeah. And then you
Jesus.
turn around and do Joker face, and then like it's a whole bum 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 bum. That's crazy.
That is insane.
Yeah.
What grade was this in, sorry?
This was like grade 8, grade 9.
God
Wow.
damn.
Yeah.
What a bold move, too. It must have been his girl. You must have been moving in on his girl.
It was not his girl. I know that for a fact.
Well, it was after that.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Damn. Do you remember with the girl?
They better still be together, otherwise I'm gonna beat the shit out of her. You hurt my friend. As long as he's not around.
And she's like, "Who are you?"
Why? He was just a boy.
He didn't know.
He didn't know.
Do you remember the girl, though? Do you remember what she was like?
Yeah, she was nice.
Oh, okay.
Well, not that nice.
Yeah, I guess not.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, 14 or 13.
Sounds
whatever.
like she was kind of a fickle bitch.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Damn.
Actually, no. She was fine. She was part of a weird thing that happened where I was gonna ask out one of her friends, and then I told her about it, and she's like, "Okay, come into the hallway at lunch, and you can ask her out."
This sounds
And-
like the start of a very mean prank.
Yeah. Well, I got to the hallway, and then like 40 Indian girls are there, like basically in a circle around me.
What
Trying
the
so
fuck?
hard not to make so many jokes right now.
And then I go up to
I was
this
going to
girl.
say, so you got to experience what it's like to be an Indian woman. So, I'm sorry, I had to. But continue.
Oh no, and then I was just like, "Hey, like, do you want to go out sometime?" She's like, "Oh, no."
Oh my God! What the fuck? That's so mean.
And then I was like, "Why'd you guys make me come to this?"
what the fuck?
Yeah.
That's cruel in a way that only 40 people can decide.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so mean, dude.
That's cruel in a way that
crazy.
only a mob can be cruel.
Yeah. I remember
I'm
being.
starting to think that maybe my early life has affected me in some way.
Yeah, dude.
I wonder.
I remember being in grade 9 and my friend breaking up with his girlfriend and me saying, "Can I watch?" And like the two of us, this is fucked. And he's like, "I'm gonna do it," and he told us, and we're like, "Dude, fucking do it."
That's
And he's
so
like, "I'm
mean.
gonna do it," and then two of us were like, "Can we watch?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do it right now." And then he went, and we like watched at the end of the hallway in the
Yeah.
back and just like,
Like around
peeked
the
over,
corner.
like around a corner. And I remember, because I remember he did
Eye
it.
holes in newspapers.
He did it, and then he had to walk like 150 meters down the hall, and he just started walking towards us, just going. Let's go! Like,
Was she crying?
she like, dude, it was awful. I watched a girl's shoulders drop. I watched him say it to her, and then I watched her literally go like that in the school. It was like 30 minutes after the bell rang and everything,
Yeah.
but I watched her go like this.
Oh.
And then walk away, and immediately I was like, "Oh, I didn't want to see that. I don't
This
know
wasn't
why."
as
Yeah.
fun as I thought it
No,
was
that
gonna
was like
be.
you watched you watched a young girl's heartbreak.
I know. And I
Wow.
said, "I want more." Yum 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 yum.
Let me
yum,
see it
yum.
again. Let me see it
And
again.
it made me taller. I got taller after watching it.
That's cruel. I'm still kind of traumatized by your childhood. That was awful.
Huh?
That's crazy.
Why would they do
Why
that
would
to
they
you?
get an audience of 40 people to watch you fumble?
I don't know. I
That's
don't know why
so
they did that.
mean.
And then after I went back to the drama room where I hung out.
Oh, you hung out in the drama room?
Suddenly, I
All
see
right,
why
yep.
they were so mean to you.
Okay. All right.
Suddenly, things are
Put some
making a
things
lot
into
more sense.
perspective, brother.
Did you have a turban and a beard back then?
Yeah,
oh,
of course I did.
Man, yeah, I'm seeing why you got picked on.
Yeah, this is a lot of.
Was your turban? Was it because it's not a turban when you're that
It's a
age?
patka. Yeah.
What's
yeah.
it called?
Patka.
Was it a cool color?
Yeah. I was like pretty hip with them. I had like a tie-dye one and
Oh,
stuff. I was having fun
okay.
with
Did
it.
All
everyone
right.
else think you were hip with him, or just your parents?
No, I don't know if even they did. I don't know if even
Oh,
they
he's the only
liked
one
it.
that would have that, and it has the flag of Israel all over it. It's just
Did the kid that had the 8-pack have a podcast?
No. No.
Oh,
No,
is there a bit of a? Is that almost like wearing like you're like, you say you're in like Cub Scouts and you like wear a sash to school and everyone's like cool.
Yeah. Like,
comparing it to Cub Scouts is crazy. It's a huge part of the religion. Learning to tie knots.
Huge part of being Sikh.
Whittling.
Yeah.
Whittling. Knowing how to set up a tent.
Because I was like, what's like
I love God.
as a rural white Canadian male, what's a rite of passage I could do? And I was like, Cub Scouts.
Not like a Jewish
Scouts.
not a kippah, not a.
I'm not a Jewish person. However, I was in Scouts for a long time.
You know,
and I left the moment it started to be extremely cringe.
you're not a Jewish person, but there's also no rule saying that we can't wear the kippah.
Yeah.
Honestly, my head would love it.
I know.
I think there
They
are
work
rules.
perfectly on your head.
They definitely don't want us to wear a kippah.
I got a collection.
I
Don't
guess
worry.
they're gonna be
Stealing
mad
I
about.
I
only-
steal them from everyone I see.
I only wear them at home.
Whoa, free hat.
It's such a crazy thing to walk up to a Jewish guy and go, "What do you got under there?" Oh, and then put it back.
Hey, candy. What the hell?
Oh,
What do you got in there? A ball patch? You are doing great.
No, it's like the cup game where you flip the cups around. What do you got there? Oh.
Oh, eyes on fries. Okay, so he didn't have a putt. Were you stigmatized? You think a little bit for having a putka? Was there like a really cool?
Because
kid that
like,
had one?
what's it? So he grew up in Seattle, and there was like we were in a nice community. So there's a very light amount of anti-brown racism. Then there in Surrey, all brown people, right?
And
all
there was
like
so
Indian
much
people.
anti-brown racism.
Yeah, and
Really?
it was just like they would all look at because they all had their haircuts. So you seemed like basically like an Orthodox Jew.
Yeah,
to
you seem like
them.
fresh off the boat.
to a
100%.
regular
That
Jewish
probably
kid,
would have
yeah.
been a better comparison, but I'm not from New York City. So I made the most. I don't think it's the craziest thing to be like, it's like wearing a Boy Scout sash
I
to
think
school.
it's a fairly accurate.
You're like, look at all of my badges
Yeah.
for eating pussy. And they're like, we're not impressed. And you're like, but I'm
But I'm
such
so good at it.
I'm such a good boy.
Look, this one says I learned the alphabet. And
I did.
But
I remember
so-
the A to Z alphabet one.
yeah.
So you truly can't escape the caste system.
No, yeah.
Jesus.
No matter what you do.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah,
it's
'cause-
actually kind of big in
'cause-
Surrey, and the whole point of the Sikh religion was to escape the caste system. But you go to
Jesus.
Surrey, and there's a bunch of guys from Punjab, from Sikh families, who are just like, we're this group of people, which means we're cooler than you.
Damn.
Or like the Canadian raised ones that are like,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
don't have an accent.
we do
have
say the N-word.
sick. Yeah, we definitely say the N-word. We have pretty sick cars. We love Xbox. We
Yeah.
have great haircuts. It's a known thing. Our fades are impeccable.
And we do not like the religion of
We
people.
don't. Yeah, we don't. Yeah,
Damn.
that's nerdy as shit.
Or like they do. They're like religious and stuff, but they just don't. None of them wear turbans. They think it's lame.
They are to Sikhism what like the cool Muslims are.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they still fuck white girls.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean,
They still drink, but they don't eat pork, you know? Those
That's like
types of
cool
guys.
Catholics. They're still fucking white girls.
I'm
You know what
not
I'm saying?
Catholic.
You know what I'm saying? These
I'm
cool
not-
Catholics still out there fucking white girls.
The Pope?
The Pope?
The Pope out
You
there?
best believe he's slamming some white girls.
Yeah.
Pope is from Southside Chicago. He might be
Woo.
sleeping with some queens.
Yes, I think
Mhm.
so.
But anyway, sorry. So, so let's
I'm
bring
just imagining the Pope being like, the holiest thing on earth is Latina pussy. Am I right? Am I right? This guy knows what I'm talking about.
Have you seen that guy?
First things first. Our team of the world is the Bears. The Bears are God's team, baby.
If we ever go
We
up
only
against
go
another
for-
planet, the Bears are going to be who we send.
just be-
Chicago Bulls had an infamous run and will be unmatched. Yeah. Have you seen that guy on Hinge?
You
that's-
gonna put a fatwa on me? Get the fuck out of here. I'm the Pope. Hey, fucking right here, baby.
There's a dude on Hinge whose whole thing is showing people how to match with a Latina woman.
Yeah.
It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Where he's just like, well, first you have to set the height to below 5'5". He's like, you gotta get the premium version, set it to below 5'5" and above 4'10". He's like, then you have to say only religion Catholic. He's like, and there you go. That's how you're gonna find it. Now from on, and then he shows him swiping, and it's just all Mexican women, and you're like, that is insane. Like,
I feel like if you set it higher, you get Brazilian women.
oh,
I think so.
Yeah, not wrong.
I'm just thinking there's just one UFC fighter that I don't know why I'm on the UFC kick. I don't even watch it that much. There's one UFC fighter who's just a huge woman who's from Brazil. She can't fight. She's just bigger than every other woman, so she's like, time to fight.
Does she win all the time?
She wins sometimes.
Okay.
People have like
when she fights women.
yeah, people have recorded her sparring with men, and people were like, she's strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's very strong.
I like the idea of someone who never learns how to fight, but is just like, I'm bigger than all.
Oh, that guy also exists.
Yeah.
Yeah, his name was Sasquatch. He's kind of sad. He was on TRT. He was on steroids, and then they like took steroids away, and then he just started losing all the time. But he was just so large that they were like, yeah, sometimes there's just a huge man that hits you and you go down. But then he couldn't do testosterone anymore, and then he was like, it looked like a wounded animal in the cage. He just was like, it was pretty sad.
This kneecapped man is gonna fight. Yeah.
This dude who they took away his special juice.
Do you think if we gave big hairy guys enough steroids, we could create Sasquatches, like real Sasquatches,
Well,
and release them into the woods?
there's only one way to find out.
Yep.
Let's find the hairiest man in Surrey and tell him we're going to give you so many steroids, we're going to turn you into a Sasquatch and release you into the woods.
Yeah.
And he'll say, I'm calling the cops. That's the most bigoted thing I've ever heard in my fucking life. Also,
I'll say, but what if I say it? Is it better if I say it?
and he goes,
Come
Amar,
on,
I
man.
haven't seen you since 8th grade, man. How you been? And you go, let's see your abs. Let's see your abs,
Oh, it's so
fuckface."
perfect, huh?
And he
8th
goes,
grade doing P90X, you piece of shit.
very
Why you have to
hairy.
stun on us like that?
The cops show up and go, that's actually a great idea. Let's get this thing going.
Have you ever experienced anti-white racism by another white person?
Never in my life.
Not by a girl with pink hair?
If that's what we're considering. Yeah, of course.
Still a human being.
Of course, yeah.
there
I've
you
met the white girl that like obviously is trying to distance herself from white people as much as possible, and it's
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, it's just really embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's really embarrassing, and it's
Their
always
dad owns a bank or like a
yeah.
RV
It's always
salesman
someone in that
thing.
situation, or I find you've been in this situation too.
Never.
No, you have. You've been there with me. It'll be like a party of like either all people of color and we're the two white guys, and then
Brother, I don't know the exact situation you're talking about, and I don't remember it fondly and bring it up all the time as a funny circumstance. Side note, Killers are a great band.
Yeah, 100%. I'm so
Yeah.
glad you remember all
do.
these details.
What is this? I don't know
It's
the story.
basically was just me and Darcy.
We got
at
invited to the cookout.
Nice.
legitimate
At
at
the
a
Killers.
We are at a cookout.
The Killers was where the cookout is.
But the fact that you said Duck Killers is I'm not touching that. Bigoted.
I
we-
said
Duck Killers.
the freaking Killers.
The Killers. Shit. All right, this one's Mr. Brightside. All right, we finna play Mr. Brightside now. Welcome to The Killers. Damn. This next
More like
one.
The
This next one.
Colours.
This
Oh,
next
dude.
one's called "When You Were a Young Shit." Here we go. Come on,
But
you guys know other Killer songs.
No, I was trying to think. I don't really
That's
have
just
much.
the price I pay, man. Destiny is calling me. Open up your evil eyes, because I'm fucking Mr. Brightside. Everyone, oh!
Hey, hey,
Mm.
hey.
Oh! Brendan Flowers takes off his do-rag
Oh,
in the audience.
At one point, he goes, "You know, she doesn't look a thing like Jesus." And in the background, you hear someone go, "Oh, I heard that! I heard that!"
You
More
hear
than
a-
you'll ever know. Oh!
You hear a 40-year-old woman go, mm-hmm.
Hell yeah, yeah.
But what happened?
No, we were
You guys
at
were hanging out with the black guys at the
we
Killers
were
concert.
at a party that was just all black people,
You were at a barbecue.
and then one dude came up to us who was like hammered drunk, and he was like, "Oh, yo, you're white guys," and we were like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Shit, do you like the Killers?" And, we were like, and he goes, "Man, I love the
And
Killers."
I was like, they're okay.
And Darcy had a great bit where he's like, "Is this what it's like to be rapped at? He's like,
Yeah.
This is what it feels like to be rapped at right now."
Yeah.
And this guy just started talking about the Killers
He
and
loved
Rock
the
Band
Killers.
to
Yeah.
us.
And he was like,
It was
I love
very
Rock Band,
funny.
I love
He's
the
like, "I
Killers."
love Rock Band. I used to play Rock Band all the time." It was very funny.
And he was a nice dude.
He's clearly
hammered
been
drunk.
looking for someone to talk to this about.
It
all
felt
day.
like
Oh,
this
yeah.
was the first time he got to just express love for the
Yeah.
Killers in a non-judgmental environment, and we judged him. Like I was like, I don't don't even like the Killers that much.
I was like, yeah, I like the Killers, and he was like, oh, thank God. Like,
Yeah,
He's naming deep cuts, and you're like,
he
it's
was.
too much.
He was a
man.
big
Yeah,
fan. Yeah,
but then there was a girl there who was also not black and constantly tried bringing up race, and it was really weird.
it made everyone uncomfortable.
Made everyone
every time
super
she did
uncomfortable, and up
she-
to a point of where one guy was like, "Yeah, man, I don't really think about that." And then
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
kind of walked away. It was really
It.
weird.
She kept being like,
She kept
"Ugh."
trying to gang up on me and Darcy after we're friends with.
You
like,
guys don't like the Killers enough.
No, it was like, did you guys bring up the Killers? And I was like, I've never brought up the Killers in my life.
Yeah.
This is the weird killer-centric night.
Typical white man making it about them.
Yes, the stuff like that.
Yeah,
And it
that
just
kind
made everyone kind of look at the ground for a while. And then I was like, do you guys like the Tragically Hip? And they were like, and I was like, that's okay. Well, now you've made us sad.
Oh shit! Now, in order to get the vibe back, now you must freestyle. Freestyle, girl, go for it.
Come on, pink hair lady. Freestyle over Mr. Brightside.
Freestyle over
We
Mr.
got the lyrics.
Brightside.
We got the beat.
Come on. Yeah, no, it was very. No, that happens all the time. But that's also usually it's just like white women who it's you and me both though. They just like hate us.
Yeah.
I feel like they really there's something about the things we say. They really try to distance themselves from us.
They decide they hate me before I've even opened my mouth. And
Brother.
then once I open my mouth, I give them an actual reason.
Hey, you were actually right. I am who you think I am.
Hey,
I will be
you know
the-
how you judged a book by its cover and you swiftly condemn me even though I haven't even done anything yet and I might be a really nice guy? You're right. I'm a huge asshole. Fuck you, pig.
The cover of the book says
said
huge
this-
asshole, and it's really indicative of the content.
You kind of
behind
guessed it. The cover of this book said problematic and will call things slurs.
The cover of this book says, and so do I.
I say it a lot. I could do it on the first date, get it out of the way.
I say it a lot.
Let
I
people
open
know
on
where I
that.
stand.
Let them
I
know
open
where
on
I
that.
stand. I say Israel and Palestine shit. That's homie.
And then like, wait, how do you feel about it?
I go, damn, dude.
I said, if you got a problem with that, I got a certificate from a special needs class that I graduated from. What do you think of that?
Shit,
I'm legit.
I got a
my R's
diagnosis.
are backwards because I can't see shit 'cause I'm fucking. Said it twice. What do you think about that one? Oh, you don't like what I said? I hate it when they said it to me. What's up, girl?
What's up, dude? Yeah, I know I'm not supposed to say it, but the school was so excited when I was able to say it for the first time. They're like, holy shit, he speaks.
I said it at graduation when they
Oh,
gave
I
me
let
that
out a really bad
certificate.
fart.
I was so
I'm
excited.
sorry.
You fart?
It's really bad.
Protein fart?
Yeah.
Oh no.
I'm so sorry. I killed the ref.
He does this. No, he brutally. He'll do this in the car. We'll just be driving. He's just like.
I mean, that's
sorry.
the price of paying. You got either. When I say fucking grass or gas, you know what I'm referring to.
You gotta hang out with a riff god. And
Ass
if you don't like
and
the.
gas.
You want to hang out with
Ass-
a riff god? You gotta take
Ga-
my offering, son.
Gas, gas, and gas. People smell my farts long enough, they go on stage, they start talking like me.
Listen, man, I'm a riff deity, and what I require as a sacrifice is your nose.
I'll restart this camera real quick.
Good. You been eating a lot of protein shakes, something? Or is it just all this chicken? you
Oh
done
God,
had?
it made its way here.
No,
Woo, Jesus.
lot
I
of
still can't
protein.
smell it.
It'll get
Protein
there.
shakes, a lot of chicken, a lot of protein shakes.
This room is so big. It's crazy you've
Wow.
stunk up this whole corner.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I
Damn,
mean, we
man.
got an open
You get
window
it?
right there. Shit. Look, I just wanted to
You
let
have an
that thing.
impressive body.
It was hurting.
I didn't know.
It was hurting.
It was legit
was it
hurting.
So spicy.
I
on the
was
way
holding
out?
it in for probably
Oh.
2 minutes there that it started to hurt, and I was like,
Yeah.
I gotta let this thing out.
When you're at an event that you can't be farting, but you can't be moving, and you're just like, maybe it's just gonna be a nice secret one, and then it comes out, and you're like, oh, spicy.
no,
That was
no,
a
no.
spicy one on the way out.
Where I do abs in the gym is almost always people will just walk through it, but no one really goes into it, and sometimes I'll let just the worst fart out
You
imaginable,
doing abs?
and then someone will
Abs.
walk through and just be like, and just keep walking. I'm like, you know exactly who that was. It's just me in here.
Only me.
You know precisely who did that.
But the gym's a safe place to fart, isn't it?
The gym's a safe place where I get to fart and I get to correct women on how they're lifting weights. I like to go up to women who are much stronger than me and go, no, you're doing that incorrectly, and then properly show them how to do it.
When I see that they're filming something, I go onto the camera and I try and do a little skit, try to do a little TikTok.
I
usually
walk
do a
up on
little
all
dance.
fours and I act like a dog and go.
I go up to them.
I'm just kidding. Looking good though.
I go
and then
up to them-
slowly get up and my knees pop.
I see them working out on a bench, and I go, can I use that when you're done? And they just go, yeah, sure. And then once they stand up and finish, I run over and I start licking it.
I know girls that
Oh,
would legit
thank
be
you.
turned on by that.
That's so fucked. That is so fucked.
Where are they?
Let me find. Yeah, what are their names?
My girlfriend.
Oh, you dog. You dog.
That's the one girl we don't want it to be.
I know.
What
it's
the
tough.
hell?
Fuck.
All for No, I like that. I like going to the gym.
Sniffing,
I like
sneaking.
going to the gym.
Sniffing,
dogging out,
sneaking, prowling.
Staring,
Yeah.
looking. You
Put
know,
my-
some
put my
guys,
butt plug
some
tail
guys
in.
walk
Slurp.
Some guys walk around with big old gym bags. I don't know
Yeah.
why, but they have big old gym bags. I want to start walking around with just like roller luggage. Never pull anything from it. Just roller luggage up to the next thing. Work out, get up and go. Yeah, nice. Just roll it over
Yeah.
to the next spot.
I'd say pull out a laptop.
Yeah.
Just have a big Excel spreadsheet on there.
We've done so many riffs about like, wouldn't it be funny if? But I'm like, this has just got me down to remembering things you've done actually to women. Not like,
Like,
you've like
so-
slurped them or farted on them or
It
anything.
sounds so much worse than
Yeah, I
that.
know
Yeah,
it
you
did.
have to
As I
do
said,
that
I know.
clear it up.
Then don't cut me off. Fuck.
Well, you can't pause after all the things
He
you did
fucking
to
cut me
women.
off.
Sorry,
I'm
sorry.
gonna punch you
No,
right
what-
in your
what are you
fucking
gonna-
big brown dick.
What?
Well, remembering that girl you were on a date with, and you're like, I gotta take a shit. Or no, it was the one. It wasn't that one. That was Dion. Dion went on a date with a girl that went awful, and then he was like, I gotta take a shit. And then he left and then came back, and she was like, Are you done? He was like, It was big. And then we heard that after he died.
Wow.
Like a girl told us that story.
That's
of like,
awesome.
I actually went on a date with him once, and then she told us this, being like, "It's neither here nor there." And I was
She should
like,
not have done it at the funeral, but that's okay.
I was like, "This is the greatest story." I've
Shouldn't
ever
have
heard.
said it on stage. What are
Yeah.
you gonna do? Yeah.
Right. And then no, I'm remembering the one where you were with that girl that was just kind of weird and possessive, and you hadn't been on a date with her yet. And then you were like, I got diarrhea. And she
Oh.
was like, you got to meet up with me. And you're like, I shit my fucking pants.
I
And she
remember
was
that.
like, no, you didn't. You're like, I did. It stinks. It's goopy. And she was like, no. And you're like, oh, come visit you, but it stinks.
Hey, I remember you being with me and me being like,
Because you were like, I don't like this girl. There's no connection.
she
here.
was
seems
so
kinda
angry
nuts."
too. She was
Yeah.
just like, you're bailing on, and it was like we were at a party, and it was like a party that had stand up. It was kind of like a nightclub event.
Yeah.
And I remember running into her there and being like, I think it's kind of weird that you came to this, but whatever. Like you were here with your friends, whatever. Then I had to go do another show, and then I was like, Darcy, let's just go back. It was when we lived really close together. I was like,
Yeah.
let's just fucking walk back to your place. I do not want to meet up with this person. I never said I was going to meet up with this person. I
Right.
just said maybe I'll run back into them at the party.
Yeah.
And then they started being like, oh, I see how it is.
You just
You're just
hit it?
leaving me out to dry.
Yeah.
You just hit it and quit it. And I was like, you're with like 80 of your friends right now. Like,
Yeah.
what are you talking? And then I was just like, no, something came up. And she was like, what? And I was like, it's embarrassing. And she was like, you're lying. And I was like, I shit my pants. And Darcy
No,
was like,
you kept adding
why?
you kept adding like 4 exclamation
Yeah.
marks, so it just came across very like, oh, I shit my pants.
I remember-
shit my
I remember Darcy being like, why did you say that? And I was like, because it's so embarrassing that they're going to be like, oh, of course, why would you make that up? And then she was like, I don't believe you. And just sort of being like, no,
It's
you
funny
didn't.
because you were lying.
I was
He was,
lying,
yeah.
100%.
We're walking,
And instead
somewhere.
of getting caught and being like, yeah, you're right, I was just like, no, it's everywhere. I was like, oh, no.
and then he kept adding more exclamation marks. It's everywhere, and then like 4 exclamation marks.
And
she
then
was like,
the plan was we were going to go to Darcy's place, and I was going to have to fake put chunky soup in my underwear and send her a photo.
yeah,
That was the
at-
plan, and then
I
finally
at the
she was
rat
just
house
like, "Oh, I hope you feel better, actually." And I was like, "Oh, thank fucking God!"
You
Oh
have
my
to
God!
ruin this underwear.
I was about to shit my pants for real to get out of it. We were like an hour walk from his place, and I was like, "I might have to shit my pants.
Yeah.
I might have to put out a very long, firm
No, we were
log."
walking along Nanaimo. I don't even remember why. And you're just like, just texting, and then I'd look, and I was like, why all the exclamation marks?
Why does it have to be
That's
like
what made
this?
it feel funny.
Yeah.
I went to shit my pants.
I also thought that was the funniest thing to say.
Yeah.
I shit my pants.
I shit my pants. I can't meet up with you and have sex because I shit my pants. I can't even not have sex. I can't come to this weird party.
Yeah. My pants are full of shit.
My pants are full of shit.
You want me to come
I'm sorry, you
dance?
want me to come to a nightclub while my pants are caked with
If a girl
mud?
just goes, all right, clean up and then come here, turn on or turn off?
Depends if you like them or not.
Yeah.
That's the thing about the ick.
I guess universal. I'd say turn on. I'm like, okay, she can handle me where I'm at. You know.
Yeah, but you're a sick freak.
whatever.
What if she was
Yeah.
like, don't clean it up, come here anyway?
Oh, I'd
Oh.
say no. I can't do poop stuff.
You
Not
can't
for
do.
me.
Well, to quote comic Ryan Williams, yeah, shit guys always kill themselves. He was like, piss guys, whatever, have fun. Shit guys always commit suicide.
Jesus
Yeah, that's
Christ.
And I was like, how do you know that?
Yeah, I don't think I'm kind of with you on that, Amar. I don't
Has
know
a
if I
gun
can
in
do-
his mouth.
Yeah, he's tying a noose.
Yeah.
Shit guys always kill
It's a
him.
lonely road.
Shit guys, it's a tough pitch.
Yeah, it's one of the few things that I've never had the slightest interest in.
Poop.
Yeah, fair.
No.
In fact,
Yeah.
it's quite. In fact, I have quite a disinterest in
In
it.
fact,
Yeah.
it stinks like shit.
It actually smells kind of bad.
Also, it's just a young kid who doesn't realize that poop interest or that scat play is wrong, and someone's like, "It's shit." Oh, it was great. Oh, apparently, new Marvel's great.
just sitting there, and he's like, yeah, man. And then, like, she fucking shit herself, and he's just got such an erection. He's like, and then what? And then I drove her home. Yeah, of course.
Oh.
I think you need to drive me home.
You not drive me home face down in the seat she was sitting in.
Mom, you got to pick me up. Can we stop off at the plumbing store first?
That's a very funny idea. Just walk around a plumbing store and just flush the toilet and moan. Just a different guy goes around going, "Oh,
Wow. Bring a plunger up, and you go, this isn't edible, is it?
oh, fuck! What flavor is this one?" Damn.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think that's
None
a
of us
fun
are
way.
poop
I think
guys.
that's a fun way of getting out of it. I think it was a good way of getting out of it.
It worked.
Yeah.
She had so many red flags. She was so volatile so quickly that I was like,
Yes,
you
brother.
can't do this.
Yes, brother.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if someone's first instinct to you being like, I've shit myself, is
This-
them saying you're lying.
This
They're
was
clearly
like
really
so
smart.
early into them talking. Yeah, this was like
Yeah, it was like second date.
yeah.
And it's like she's right, but she's right because this happens to her a lot.
Yeah, it was really crazy.
For
interview.
sure. You know what I mean?
Just she's always dating men that are
Guys are on the second date are always like, I can't come, I shit my pants.
I would have
And
loved to see her
and
do
she's like,
stand-up.
everybody!
I would have loved to see her do stand-up comedy and just pacing a stage and be like, "How come anytime you're on a second date with a man, he just go down and shit his pants?
ladies, y'all know when a man can't stop shitting his
What are
pants.
these guys trying to tell me?
Why are these motherfuckers coming around here? Always shit in their pants when it's time to get serious."
The
Also,
audience-
also, white girl. But also,
Audience is dead quiet. Everyone's like, she's like, y'all know a man can't stop shitting their pants. Everyone's like,
No.
what are you
My
feeding them?
grandpa, he's sick, but I...
Every guy that eats her out shits his pants shortly afterwards.
It's a curse.
oh, this is a crazy one, dude. I hit an animal today while driving.
Ah,
I'm pretty sure it was a squirrel or a rat.
you are changing the tone of this.
I
my
know.
friend.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure it was a squirrel or rat. I didn't really get a good look at it. I was
and then you had sex with
texting.
it, and then you shit your pants or something.
No, it was something that I was like, what the fuck? And I kept looking in my rearview mirror to be like, what the fuck was that? And then I doubled back like 15 minutes later, and I was like, I need to see what that was, because I was like, if that was a fucking cat, I have to like tell someone. But
Yeah.
I was like, it was so small that I was like, I'm pretty sure it was a squirrel, maybe a bird or
Yeah.
a rat. I was like, I
Hopefully,
don't know.
yeah.
And then I
Crazy.
doubled
My
back
pet
to
mouse
look.
escaped today. I tell you guys that. Anyway.
I was like, I was just gonna say, hopefully it's like a rat or something, and then you said my pet mouse, and I was like, that's even smaller. It's even smaller, more domesticated. Oh.
Dude, I remember going on this is another change of
No,
topic.
did you find what happened?
No, dude,
No,
I
finish.
I
You
doubled
did
back.
that. You hit
I
a
was
dead
You're
like,
like, I killed a thing. Anyhow,
I doubled back like
You
15
into the
minutes
dating
later.
story?
We're
This is
both
crazy.
below you on the couch, and this is very much story time. right
15
now.
minutes later, I doubled back just because I was at the gym, and I was like, I literally have to go back there. I was like, because if that was I was certain it wasn't a cat. I was like, that was clearly just a squirrel or a rat. But then I was
chihuahuas
like,
are small.
then I was
yeah.
at the gym, and I was like,
Oh.
if that was a fucking like cat or like a puppy or something, I gotta
Yeah,
go. Like,
something that
see.
will be missed.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
I doubled back to go see, and it was gone.
Oh.
Are you sure it was there in the first place?
That's what's got. I felt it. I felt like a kunk, but it was under one tire.
Yeah.
It was either a tire or it hit the front. I
You sure it
don't
wasn't
know.
just like a can or something?
I don't know, man. I saw something thrashing, and it looked like I was texting.
Ah.
I
I was drunk.
legitimately, I hope it was a leprechaun or something. Like, I hope it was nothing that will ever affect us in our lives. I hope it wasn't something that is loved. I
Yeah,
hope
you hit
it-
a gnome. It was
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, I hope it was a goblin that was like,
I'm off to cause cancer.
and then,
Oh, my leg. Oh, God damn it.
That's the leg I caused cancer with.
Snarkity barkity boo.
And then he's like, and then he appears and he's in his goblin hospital.
I'll get you shot.
Fuck you.
All right, time to give you the potion that cures you but makes you shit yourself.
No.
My date. My date. I have.
I'm off the hook, finally. Time to use my goblin phone. I was going to come and I got hit by a car and I fucking shit myself.
If you don't meet me, it's over.
Startledy barkledy boo.
Is that the same
He's
spell?
hitting the same
Ow.
leg. He's hitting his leg.
Ow, ow,
Ow! I dropped my goblin phone. Oh, the slime must be.
ow.
Yeah, it was generally creepy as fuck though.
Time to go do 9/11 again.
A goblin behind 9/11.
Oh, I got hit by a car
I gotta go back in
again.
time, hit the Pentagon.
Ow. My
If they
time
hadn't have-
machine.
If they hadn't have rushed the cockpit, we would have gotten it for sure. Oh, damn the bravery of the citizens on that plane. True American
I have to prevent Mark
heroes.
Whalberg from getting on the planes. He's gonna ruin everything.
As it turns out, it wasn't actually Mark Whalberg. It was a school teacher and a mechanic. Not some fucking pussy actor who sucks fucking ass and attacks Vietnamese people.
Mark, I'm gonna come pick you up, but I just fucking shit myself.
Mark, just confirming, you're still one of us, right?
Mark, you're the biggest one of us, right? And then we painted you pink, but that's why you got another nipple.
Mark, you're still attacking black kids, correct?
Good. Mark, put the burgers down, brother. Transformers need to be got. Oh, my leg. Oh, snickledy-pickledy-bog.
Dude, Whataburger has a new incentive where they only hire immigrants from Falmer. They go, we only hire the best goblins to work at Whataburger.
We only hire the
Hardworking,
best.
real goblins.
What can I get you, you fucking wop?
What did you just say?
Nothing.
I think you want a fucking Whopper.
Hey, I came to Whataburger and I asked for a regular burger and I opened it up and it turns out my patty was just subbed out with hair. You just hear an entire staff go,
Ah, we got you. Welcome to Whataburger.
Snee. Why do they say snee? That's how they say yay.
yeah, I went to Whataburgers and they said that they could give me my change back or I could get it for free if I promised my firstborn son.
Yeah, my drink is just all spiders.
Snee.
Oh, god damn
The
it.
fries were just toenails? It's only toenails? That doesn't feel right.
Also, why does Mark Whalberg keep saying government cheese proudly? It's just American cheese.
Snee.
Okay, that one wasn't even you guys. I think your fountain drink is broken. Why? It's just covered in piss.
Snee.
Sorry, your drink fountain is just 4 goblins with Pepsi signs and Fanta signs. They pissed
Also,
into my drink.
I can't help but notice. Now, I came in here for a delicious burger with government cheese. And all of the advertising says I'm funding 9/11, which, as you and I know, happened quite a long time ago. Do you have a time machine?
No.
Are you sure you don't have a time machine and you're going to get Mark Whalberg on there to make sure 9/11 happens?
I don't know.
The entire time, the goblin is dressed like a 2025 futuristic representation. He's got like all tinfoil on.
I don't know. I
Just
don't
like
know.
Back to the Future.
So if I brought this up to someone, we could have an investigation.
Well, the cancer will get you before you can see through to that.
What do you mean?
You're gonna get hit with it in 2026.
Okay, that guy that you guys are all covering in lube that's labeled time travel goo is also covered in Friends merch. Now, you're sure you're not going to send him back in time to ensure 9/11 happens?
I don't know.
And I
Okay.
think some of that's regular lube, too. I don't know.
He's currently drinking piss out of a coffee mug that has the New York City skyline, and I see both of the Twin Towers on it. Are you sure it's not from the year 2000?
No. I don't know. You'll never guess what's next.
We did. We have guessed.
Who's asking, Chinaman?
I'm not Chinese. Also, what?
Crazy.
That's crazy that you threw that at
You're
me.
not yet. Try our new menu item and you'll see.
You have a thing that can make me Chinese?
Hey, I went to Whataburger and I got their new sandwich and it turned me Chinese.
Oh, what are you mad for? You don't
I'm
want to
not
be
mad.
Chinese?
I think it's a rich culture and I'm really happy to now be part of it. But I just would really like to go back to what I was before.
Okay, we'll turn you white again, but you gotta do 9/11 with us.
You guys got the Whopper meal that we collabed with the CCP on. As you can see, Wahlburger X CCP. It turns you Chinese. What do you mean you want your money back? We're only giving you yuan.
No, it's good. 100% of the proceeds of this go to Uyghur camps.
Oh, to freeing them?
No, to make them bigger. We're going to make a slide. We're going to give them a basketball court.
I guess that's good, but I don't know.
Now suddenly your Mulan hair is making a lot more sense.
I love Mulan.
I know you do.
Do you know we actually sponsored the most recent film?
We're gonna defeat the Huns or something. I don't remember.
And then he turns around to get your fries, and he has a tramp stamp that says "Condom Depot." And you go, I don't even know how to feel about that.
It's one of them at a bar trying to pick up a chick.
Yeah, I know Attila the Hun. We go back. No, for real. Yeah, you know that whole mountain of skulls? That was me. Me and him. I went back.
We did that.
Yeah, no.
Crazy night.
Crazy fucking night, man.
Too much Cavassier.
Genghis Khan. Yep, we know him. Yep.
Yep. There's a timeline where that guy that stole that plane in Seattle, I think you guys call him Sky King. There's a timeline. There's a timeline where he actually landed on Donald Trump's house. Now we got to make sure that guy doesn't do it and that he's not a hero.
We gotta make sure Mark Whalberg gets on that plane so 9/11 can be way worse.
Well, in fact, I don't know if you've seen the new film Flight Risk, but if Mark Whalberg gets on a plane, he'll kill everybody. That's what that movie's about.
Amar, that is incredible. That is one of the best.
If I was there, it would have gone completely differently.
Wouldn't have gone down like that. I would have taken them both out, one plane. I'm built different. I would have gotten that. I'd say, booyah, bitch. Next stop, the Pentagon. Let's get it.
Crazy, just a sick Jerry Bruckheimer film where he's driving the plane and then the wing just kind of carves the bottom of one tower out and the plane does a loop-de-loop, carves the other tower out, does a loop-de-loop, just slices the top of the Pentagon off like a can of beans.
We taught Mark Whalberg to fly a plane so good that he just keeps 9/11ing everything. We took down the Burj Khalifa. We took down Big Ben. This guy's crazy.
He's nothing above 3 stories anymore. Worldwide.
He took down the fucking pyramids. The pyramids he took down. Turns out Mark Wahlberg is the one that built them.
He gave the Sphinx rhinoplasty. Now it looks like Tilda Swinton.
Anyways, all this to say, you hit that guy with your car and you're a hero.
Yeah. Yes.
All of that has been negated.
That's the guy.
Look, if Mark Whalberg was in my car, it would not have gone down like that.
Yo, man, you could have hit that goblin.
Buddy, all you did was wound the goblin. You didn't kill it.
Anyways,
go back. You gotta
swerve towards that Vietnamese family. Mark, I don't know why you're here.
I don't want to do this.
You know what?